Alright, I'm starting a video right now for Algebra 2. We're working on linear inequalities and systems of linear inequalities. At this time now, if you want to pause the video to write down the word problem, feel free. When you're looking at this word problem, it reads, on a 2-week vacation, you and your brother can rent one canoe for $11 per day and rent 2 mountain bikes for $13 each per day. Together, you have $120 to spend. Again, you want to analyze, is this a part or a total? And here's our parts, and here is our total. It says, number 1, write and graph a linear inequality describing the possible number of days you and your brother can canoe or bicycle together. All right, so our two variables, x and y, would be, x would be your canoes, y would be your mountain bikes, okay? And how many days you can do it, excuse me. It's $11 per day for a canoe. I don't know how many days I'm going to use the canoe, so that will be x. I can also rent mountain bikes. The cost for a mountain bike is $13 each per day. So if it's you and your brother together, that has to be $26, assuming that you're both going to have a bike. Why? How many days you're going to be on the mountain bike? You have a total of $120 to spend. Could you spend $120 completely? Yes. Could you spend more than that? No. But you could spend less than that. Again, summing this up, I want to talk about my parts. I want to talk about my total. And then I need to decide, should it be a less than or equal to or a greater than or equal to? It says now we need to graph this, okay? So I'm going to make my table. Whoops, excuse me. X, Y, 0, 0. I'm going to take 120 and I'm going to divide by 11. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because right now I am assuming that y is 0. So that whole term that I just circled is going away, and that gives us 11x is less than or equal to 120. I'm not going to worry about the less than or equal because we learned yesterday when we're graphing it, we graph it just like it's an equals. When I divide that, I get 10.9. Next, I want x to be 0. This whole term then goes away, and I have 26y is equal to 120. I'll show my work down here if you need that. I'm going to solve for y by dividing 120 divided by 26. When I do that, I get 4.6. 0.6. Sorry, I'm running out of room. I'm going to graph that now. So the first one, we did it when y was 0, I believe, but I'm going to double check. When y was 0, x was 10.9, excuse me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.9. Okay. And then the other one was 4.6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Approximately here. It was a less than or equal to, so I'm going to have a solid line. Next, it was 11x plus 26y has to be less than or equal to $120. I'm going to pick my test point 0, 0. The line does not go through 0, 0, so I can pick that. If my line was passing through 0, 0, I would need another point. So 11 times 0 plus 26 times 0 is less than or equal to 120. Together, this is 0 is less than or equal to 120. This is true, so I include the region with the test point. Now, I'm not going to go in the negative region because that doesn't make sense for this problem. We're not going to have negative days on either one. We just did part A there. You should be pausing and rewinding where you need to. Part 2 says, give 3 possible solutions for the inequality from part A. Well, you can name any point in this region that's shaded, right? Including the points on the line if it makes sense. So you could just pick easy ones. This point right here, let me change my color. 1, 1. You could spend 1 day on the bikes and 1 day on the canoes. 2, 1. Now, X is my canoes. So I would say I'd have 2 days on the canoe and 1 day on the bike. 3, 1. 3 days on the canoe and 1 day on the bike. There's lots of different options for us here. Pause, look it over, reflect on what we did, and if you have any questions, please write them down so I can answer it on Monday. Next, we have a potter. A potter wants to make and sell bowls and plates. A bowl uses 5 pounds of clay. A plate uses 4 pounds of clay. The potter has 40 pounds of clay. Right here, this is my total. 5 pounds of clay is part. 4 pounds of clay is part. Together, these parts make up the total pounds of clay. So I'm going to write that first. 5x, so x is my bowls, plus 4y, where y is my plates. So it's 5 pounds per bowl and 4 pounds per plate. I have 40 pounds of clay. This would make up a total of 40 pounds. Now I can have equal to that, but I can't go over that because I only have 40 pounds. So that's less than or equal to. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cross off what I used. Now there's more information. The potter wants to make at least 4 bowls. Okay, well, we just labeled bowls as x's. So I know x has to be greater than or equal to 4 because x is my bowls. It doesn't say anything, though, about plates. Could I make 0 plates? Yes. Could I make less than that? No. I can only make greater than that. So my suggestion for you in these problems is you're thinking about what parts make a whole, and you're also making sure you're labeling your variables so you're very clear on what is what. My x are my bowls, my y are my plates, my x are my days on the canoe, my y are my days on the bikes for the previous problem. Then it wants us to graph this system, okay? I'm going to graph that on the next page. Okay, so my first one was 5x plus 4y is less than or equal to 40. I'm going to make my table. 0, and 0. When y is 0, that goes away, so I have 5x is less than or equal to 40. That's going to give me x is equal to 8. Oopsie, excuse me. I don't know how to go back on this. Wait, hold on, maybe I do. I do, yay. Okay. Now, when x is 0, that goes away, and we have 4y is less than or equal to 40. We just ignore that less than or equal to at this moment, and that would make y equal to 10, because 10 times 4 is 40. I'm going to graph that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, where my x's are my bowls. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And my y's are my plates. And I'm going to draw a solid line. Now I need to test a point. I'm going to plug 0 in here and 0 in here, which makes 0 is less than or equal to 40. That means I'm going to shade going down. Next, I need my next equation. I'm going to color code it. That's going to be x is greater than or equal to 4, because I want at least 4 bowls. Remember, when we have x is equal to a number, that's a vertical line. So I'm going to go to the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, make a dot, and do a vertical line through it. I want x to be greater than 4, so you can use a test point again. You're just using x is 0, though. Is 0 greater than or equal to 4? No. That's false, so we shade the region that does not include the test point, which is this way. And technically, I didn't need to shade in the negatives, right? Because I'm not going to have negatives. Okay. And then finally, let me change my color. I have y is greater than or equal to 0, because I can make 0 plates, or I can make more than that. Y is 0 is right here. And when you have a y, you have a horizontal line. Okay? And I'm going to have a horizontal line going through that blue dot. So that's right there on the x-axis. And y is greater than or equal to 0. Well, you can choose a test point of 0, 1. And 1 is greater than or equal to 0. So I'm going to shade up. I'm now going to say, hey, look, I have a region here. I have a triangle. And if you notice, I have the pink line, the orange line, and the blue line all in there. So I'm going to color it in, just like I'm coloring a picture. This is a region at any point here would satisfy how many bowls and plates I could use, where I'm still going to be under 40 pounds and making at least 4 bowls. Please, at this moment, pause and write down any questions that popped up in your head while you were doing this. All right, now I want you to go and do the Schoology quiz that's attached to this, and then do the assignment that is listed on Schoology, excuse me. All right, what I just did quickly before you start your Schoology quiz is you can go back to this video. I'll put a link on our webpage as well, or on our Schoology page. And I have the problems you need to be doing. So here's 34, 35, and then 37, 43, 44, 45, and 47. All right, we're good to go.